Hi, welcome to Modulate TV. This is episode 19. We're in October, and for Wishbone Brewery, that's 3 so far. So if you're counting tonight, mate, we'll see how many we get to by the end of the show, but it will be a lot. And I've got Andy Peggs with me tonight. Hi, Andy. How you doing?
Good evening. Hi.
Yeah.
How are you? You all right?
I'm all right. Yeah, no, doing good, mate. Doing good.
Oh, good.
I was looking back to when not when you were last on the show, because we've had loads of your tracks on the show and they're awesome, but you presented episode 4 of Modulate TV. I've got no idea when that was, by the way. It feels like it was about 10 years ago.
I think it was. I'm pretty sure it was. I think I'm wearing the same shirt, though, but and I've got the same haircut. But yeah, not a lot has changed.
Not a lot. But
yeah. That was a great show.
It was.
And I think this one's going to be just as good.
Absolutely.
Well, I know it is because I've heard the tunes.
And quite similar, I think, to that one in that, so tonight's show's a UK-only artist show. So we've got the, I guess, Modulate, Only Human crew, myself, you, Matt, Dave, that kind of hardcore initial kind of group from that first Only Human night. Yeah. And then we've got Probbie, Richie 303, who've done the show before, and Leon Trimble, who is doing his first Modulate tonight. So yeah, cool. It's a UK-based show.
Sitting around the campfire, nice, homely kind of. Most of us know each other, kind of thing. So,
yeah, absolutely, lovely. It's nice to do one of these once in a while. So
a warm feeling from this one.
Indeed. So what have you been up to? You've got something exciting brewing, haven't you? Before other than that cup of tea, you were just about to take a sip.
Do you know what? I'm not massively into props, but based upon what you've been posting on social media, then this is a small hint. So I thought I would.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is. So why are we talking hedgehogs then?
Why are we talking hedgehogs? Well, the reason for that is because under the banner of Only Human, we've got a bit of a special night going on in Chester, the home of some of Only Human's greatest moments. Again, we're linked in with the Story House. However, it's a Story House gig with a twist. Story House, give me a nod if I'm going on too much, by the way.
No, carry on, mate.
Story House is a local theatre, and what they've done is they've taken an empty retail space, sadly, of which there are a few in Chester these days. They've taken an empty retail space, and in collaboration with a festival company called Wild Rumpus, they have turned it into a space called The Nest. Now, I wish I had a visual to show you, but there's been some quite nice design going on in there, and they've invited all of the local sort of, I don't want to say creatives, because I don't want to say creatives, but the sort of, oh God, I can't not say, I've said it twice.
People who create stuff.
Yeah, the creatives.
The creatives.
Anyway, they've invited me and my mates to go and put on a synth night there in the Nest.
In the Nest.
And it's
how fabulous.
It's me, it's you, it's Matthew, sword swinging robot, and Dave Julian on the 6th of November.
Yeah.
And that's all we know about it.
I know. And we don't know what it's going to look like when we get there. But there's kind of a theme around nest and hibernation and that kind of thing, isn't there? So, which it's always nice to have a bit of a kind of prop to base your set around. And patch cables, hedgehogs is where I'm going with it. So we'll see.
The wider theme, because this is part 1 of 3. The wider theme is called Chester Designed by Nature, and the first phase, which we are part of, is called The Nest. Lovely. So we are synthing our way through some hibernation type vibes. We've had a bit of a chat about it, but not much of a chat about it.
That will be fine.
Our planning was a couple of messages, really, wasn't it?
We've got as far as building a nest, hibernating, and then
leaving the nest.
The post-nest, the post-hibernation rave, which,
Dave's
exactly.
taking care of that, isn't he?
Absolutely. Well, that's going to be ace. I can't wait. And so that's 6th of November, isn't it? So if anyone's in the Chester area, and look out on Instagram and Facebook, and we'll promote more details as we get them. So
22 Bridge Street.
Cool.
For those of you who know Chester.
Those who know Chester. Those that don't, look it up on Google. Oh dear. It used to be a kitchen shop.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, excellent. So probably get on the show, really, shouldn't we? Otherwise, we'll end up talking about the nest all night. So
the problem is I haven't seen you for such a long time, Rob. I just feel like having a natter. I'm sure nobody else wants to listen to that.
No. Well, there we go. We'll get onto the football soon, and then we'll be completely snookered. But anyway, so moving on to the show. So to kick off tonight, we have got a patch from Probbie. Most of you, if you've watched the show before, will know Probbie well. And this is a patch called Precipice. Take it away, Probbie. So that was Probbie with Precipice. I love Probbie stuff. I could listen to his music all day long. Andy, thoughts on that one, mate? I know you...
I mean, I know Probbie through this show. Not personally, obviously, but I know his music through the show. And I have to say, it is very, very close to something that I would like to achieve in the sounds that I'm making, particularly this one tonight, because I absolutely love pluck. I love reverbs. I'm basically sold. The minute I hear a reverbed pluck, then that's me, sold. It's way much more than that, but and another thing that I love about it is I do love really dirty, poorly produced music that sounds like it's coming out of a cardboard box, but I also love very crystal productions, and that's what I'm getting from this. I absolutely love the clarity and the mood of the whole thing. So,
I mean, his music is pristine, and his patch notes are equally pristine. They are an absolute work of art, Probbie. And one thing I noticed, I was telling you about this before, and you've probably done this before, Paul, when you share patch notes, these things are color coded. Now, I didn't know what the colors meant, and then I was watching the video again, and I was like, hang on a minute. So when he's talking about bass purple, and that's lanes A and D from the Eloquencer, you're all going to have to go back and watch the video now. It's purple patch cables going through that entire voice, from the sequencer through to the envelopes, through to the oscillators, through to the filters, and that kind of thing. So the purple thing traces all the way through, and then the guitar riff blue, warble strings. It is absolutely incredible. But I think you're right. There's a huge amount of precision in his patching and beautiful sequencing, but the collective whole of everything and how he brings everything in, and the kind of patience in it as well. And it's I think it's about 3 minutes, isn't it, until the drums come in, and then it just builds and flows so beautifully. And it's a work of art watching Probbie patch, I think. I
particularly like in this track, especially, is the little details, and it's these little details that I think that only Modular can give you. As a performer or as a listener. The thing that particularly struck me, now I'm glancing to the right because I've written it down, but I love the plucks and I love the reverbs, but then there's some sort of modulation or distortion on the tails of the reverbs, and it's just these little details. I call it knocking flex. It sounds like two pieces of wire knocking together, and it's those sort of details for me. I'm gone. I'm happy.
Yeah, I'm with you, and I think, I mean, we both kind of come from Electron Box background. You still got them. That kind of stuff's really hard to program. Doing deliberately using, however clever the Electron sequences are with all the step conditions and that kind of thing. Those artifacts that Modular give you, and some of it's deliberate, but equally sending LFO into something. There's always that little bit of unpredictability in voltage that just seems to hang around and do something.
Also, that precision that you can't find anywhere else. It's just that. Do you know what I mean?
I do. I know exactly what you mean. He was in his notes. He was saying he was aiming for something that had an uneasy sound, but was also beautiful. And he wasn't sure whether he'd managed it. But I think, for me, I mean, absolutely nailed it.
For me too, as well.
I think I'm not a huge fan of comparisons, but there was something kind of, when I was kind of getting to dance music, Sasha and John Digweed did these Northern Exposure mixes, and there were these lovely evolving, kind of melodic, I guess kind of trance music really, but electronic music. And there's a very similar, the way Probbie stuff just flows and it all evolves into each other. It's just beautiful. Top work, my friend.
Do we know whether these are quite well practiced beforehand? Are they one-offs? Are they? I mean, quite clearly there is a live jam element to it, but it's so beautifully structured. Is it chance? Is it pure skill, or is it rehearsed? Is it?
he's done this too often for it to be chance.
No, I mean the actual performance and
the nature of the eloquence, I think, allows you to program a performance and know exactly how it's going to come out. So yeah, I think it is quite structured, but it retains that human.
Sure, it does
feel as well. It's just beautiful. Really beautiful. So thank you, Paul. You are welcome always, and big part of what we do on Modulate. So thanks. Right. So next up, we have this chap here. We've got Andy Peggs with a track called Isosceles, which he's taken from his album, which is on Bandcamp earlier in the year, called The Sensual Power of Sound. So that was Andy. That's one of my tunes of the year, Andy.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, okay.
I've said this on the shows before. I don't really listen to that much commercial music anymore. I still buy my vinyl,
me too.
there and that kind of thing. But I was looking at my Spotify the other day, and there's barely anything added from this year. I listen to music from my friends and from what people send into the show. And the album, that Central Power of Sound album, I absolutely loved it. It was for a good few weeks, it was my walking album, so I stick that on Bandcamp, go for my walks.
I think I remember you saying that you listened. You sent me a picture of your view while you were listening to it.
Yeah, I was up in the hills, and that particular track, I just absolutely love it. It's just got that, groove that you can bring to your music, and just instantly just lock into that kind of head nodding groove. And
I've been trying to shrug that off for some time now.
You can't.
But I always end up going back to it.
But why get rid of it if you can knock out a groove like that? I mean,
I don't know. I thought I should try and explore other avenues and sort of, I've got a beard, so I should be able to stroke it.
Explore away, but I mean, keep with the groove and the beautiful, gorgeous Dreadbox Arebus. Tell us a little about your love affair with this synth, because it sounds.
Oh man!
In this, it just sounds epic. It sounds amazing.
I do like retro synth sounds. I just do. It's the era that I'm from. Or Depeche Mode and Yazoo and Human League, and really, that's where I'm coming from. With a lot of the sound palette that I try and create is from that era, unashamedly so. And I think that this one in particular, the sound sources are very synth pop, very sort of Vince Clarke, and those are the sounds I like to dip into every now and again. And to be honest with you, the Erebus, you just turn it on and the cat might have walked on it and mucked it all up, and it'll still sound amazing.
Still sounds ace.
Yeah.
Was he the sound, the MCO and the Jove, that because there's sound from? So what were you doing towards the end where you getting that little detune thing? Was that the tune knob, or were you doing something else?
No.
Oh, was that accidental?
No, I actually detuned it.
Right, okay. It sounded ace.
Did you see the stupid workplace had the box? I wasn't looking at it. I was above it.
Right.
A lot of it was by feel. And what happened was I tweaked something, and I actually turned the tune. My knuckle caught the tune knob on the MCO, so I had to very slowly turn it back again.
Brilliant.
So that was a mistake. But because sometimes if you like 99% of that take, you just have to sort of go with the bit that went wrong.
Just own it. But I thought that was my favourite bits. I thought that was deliberate, because it kind of just added another element, and then you very quickly brought the kind of drums back in after it.
I was very pleased with my retuning skills.
Yeah, you got it bang on, and then you brought the drums back in, so it all sounded deliberate to me. But
that drum is the Future Retro
I was going to
transient, and normally I don't do something like that with it. It's normally all over the place. I don't know if you've seen the Look Mum No Computer tutorial on it, but that's why I bought it, because I watched that, and it's like, and you can have the LFOs firing millions of drums all at the same time, and that's what I normally do with it. But it was quite a pedestrian, like you say, groove. But again, sort of, I think it was a TR 707 or something like samples of that. But yeah, what am I going on about? I don't know. Good. What am I talking
about? It all sounded good to me, and just nice, and almost like a pop song structure to it. I think you can see your love of synth pop, because quite often your tunes are 4 or 5 minutes long, and it's like,
get out of there, get out of there.
Get in, get out, get it done, eh?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, though, I've spent many happy afternoons pretending to be Vince Clarke. That's one of my favourite afternoons. But There's worse things you can get up to, I suppose.
We all start in this game by imitating our heroes, don't we?
Yeah.
And then you
stick with it forever.
Yeah, and you kind of add your own element to it, even if that is accidental detuning of the of the oscillator. But thanks for that, mate. And as I say,
all right.
I didn't. So how many albums do you say you done? You telling me before this year?
This year, 14.
14. All on Bandcamp, yeah.
All of them on Bandcamp. Don't pay for any of them.
Does that include the Snorps ones?
There's 9 Snorps and 5.
5 actual.
As close to proper albums.
If they are proper albums, mate, you're doing yourself down. They're all ace. But if you want to start somewhere, my recommendation will be Sensual Power of Sound, because it's ace.
Is that the one with the leaf on it? I've forgotten.
I've no idea. Don't ask me. It's got isosceles on it, so there we go. Right. So thank you, mate. Thanks for sharing that with us. So next we have a patch from me. I'd kind of forgotten about this one. But anyway, it's called Vortex. We'll have a listen and then see what we think.
Brilliant tune roll. Absolutely fantastic. What was it called again?
Vortex.
And where can we get this anywhere else? Is there anywhere else we can hear this, watch it?
No. So I've done a few things on the Pulsar or using the Pulsar, and I've probably got 5 or 6 tunes. So at some point this year, I'll probably do a kind of a Pulsar album of noisy, clangy, Russian, noisy goodness.
Yeah, will it include the one that I thought sounded like it was created in an abandoned Romanian chemical factory?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think I know which one you mean. It'll include that one. It'll include the one in Portmeirion, and yeah, a few others that I struggle to find that people find listenable, but people seem to like them on YouTube sometimes. So it's So yeah, they will all be on there. But yes, this one was Pulsar, and then I was trying to remember, because as those of you that know me well as as saying a lot, I also change modules at a fairly frequent rate. So if I'm looking at an older patch, it's like, oh, what did I have then? What have I got seller's regret on? So this one had the Instro Scion connected to the plants. So I think the melody will be coming from Scion by the plants. So that's why you kind of got that random melody at the start of the patch. And then where the rest of it goes, I can't remember.
I tell you what I do like. I just enjoy listening to the Pulsar. As you know, I would love a Pulsar. I'm staring over your left shoulder now, enviously at that
orange
fantastic orange box. That would be the colour that I would choose as well. So I am feeling doubly envious of that thing, because it sounds absolutely fantastic. And how would you describe your journey with it now? Are you mastering it? Are you still a foot of the Pulsar mountain? Are you halfway up?
Absolutely at the foot of it, I think. I absolutely love it. It's everything. We talked about the Pulsar a lot, haven't we? On some of your radio stuff, and it's everything I hoped it'd be in terms of that immediacy of just being able to get your hands on it. The sounds you can hear from it, it's so present in the mix. The snare and the hi-hat sounds are like nothing else I've ever come across, really. There's some bits that I still don't really understand. I'm starting to get my head around the Chaos circuit. You can do some nice tricks with it around sample and hold, and actually get melodies out of it if you attenuate it. So the Chaos into the bass circuit is good. I've tried using other things to sequence it, but actually I think I prefer not, and just actually using the machine itself and just
standalone.
Just get my hands on it, and actually the loopers and it's very easy to get caught up, as you know, in once you've been used to programming stuff, you get used to hearing stuff on the grid, and with the Pulsar, with the loopers, you can quite often you're not going to have got stuff exactly where you want the beats, but because the loopers will stay in time over a number of bars and measures, it's still got that repetitive element. So even if it's a little bit off grid, it doesn't get too out of control. And I just love that about it, because you just get these kind of loose grooves going on it that sound fantastic. Whether I'd use it live, yes. I'm not entirely sure. And
I was pushing for you or hoping that you would use it at the Nest, but you're going to go modular on that one, aren't you?
Yeah, I might bring it just for some.
Just to look at.
Well, no, because the hi-hats and you can get some quite nice kind of droney drums out of it. So if you kind of really increase the envelopes on some of the drums, you can get some lovely tones out of it that aren't necessarily beat related. So I might bring it along. We'll see.
The thing I remember most, because just for the viewers, we're very good friends with Dave Julian, whose tune's going to be on a bit later. Rob and I met up at Dave's house, and Rob bought the Pulsar with him. And the first thing he said was, "Feel how heavy this is." The first thing you said about it, and it was like, "Oh my god!"
I know, it's
like a bag of bricks.
Yeah, but have you seen the video of like? There's like a 15-minute video on the making of the Pulsar that shows you the Soma workshops. If you've not watched it, go watch it. It's the most. You can see exactly why the product is as the product you receive it. It's like Russian quality. Everything's like people stamping bits of paper and signing every component that goes in. Someone has to sign.
There's tiny blacksmiths in there.
Yeah. I think there's like one guy who ultimately is responsible for putting the thing together.
Right.
And yeah, he is the quality control because he's the man who knows how to do it. But it's a wonderful machine. I know someone who's selling one, by the way. But anyway, that's by the way.
I've just bought a camper van.
I know you have. Mrs. Peggs would not forgive me if I encourage you to buy a Pulsar. Sorry, Helen. It's like
thing is, though, imagine camper van and a Pulsar in the back. You're off the
That's it.
And think of the videos I could make.
Off grid, get yourself a MyVolts ripcord cable and a battery pack. And
do you know what? I've somehow managed to turn talking about your tune into talking about the Pulsar.
That's fine. It's better.
I'm really sorry about that.
It's all right. I've got nothing to say about the tune. I really can't remember what I did. So I hope people enjoyed it. And
I thought of a good word to describe your music. It's been bugging me for about 12 months.
Okay, go on then.
Naughty.
Probably describes my head over the past 12 months. So it's probably it's a new genre. Naughty.
But not naughty in a good way. Naughty as in tangled,
yeah.
Dense and complex.
Yeah.
That sort of naughty.
Well, hopefully when we do the nest, it'll be naughty and
dense and complex.
The nest will be nice and naughty and complex for the hedgehogs to be nice and safe in. Cool. The other thing just to observe is this was recorded a while ago, and any similarities between the T-shirts that I'm wearing in that and that Thierry and Fraser were both wearing in the last episode are purely coincidental. But it did strike me that the blue and white striped T-shirt had struck again. But
it's a good look. It is a good look. It's a sort of sort of a Brittany. West coast of France kind of vibe.
Absolutely. I think Thierry pulled it off better than I did. But anyway, there we go. Right. Enough talking rubbish about my music. Next, we have, we've got Matthew, Sword Swinging Robots, Shake the Universe. And this is a live recording. So he did this at Sheldon's, whenever it was, 2-3 weeks ago now. So yeah, anyway, enjoy. This is Sword Swinging Robot.
storm is coming. Our storm. And when it arrives, it will shake the universe. When it arrives, it will shake the universe. Your time has come. Shake. will shake the universe. Your time has come.
So that was Soul Swinging Robot, Shake the Universe. I don't really know what to say about this tune, but I've probably talked about this tune before, but
it is a tune though.
It's
a
epic.
Tune.
It's just epic, isn't it? And
yeah,
we were when we were talking about the Sheldon's gig and kind of getting back in there, and Matt was talking about his setup, and we were a bit short on space. He's like, I'm not sure about bringing the full setup, and we were rumming and ahhing, and then I was like, no, sod it. I want to hear.
Yeah.
I want to hear these tunes again.
The full SSR experience.
Yeah, what we've heard in Chester at the Story House, and just these huge epic tunes, and these tunes deserve a bigger stage. Nothing against Sheldon's or the Story House, but Matt should be playing at festivals with these tunes. I mean, his album is so good, and it's of the same name. So on Bandcamp, Shake the Universe, Soul Swinging Robot. If you've not already got on there and bought it, go give it a listen. It's chocked full of
something you said that really resonated with me. It was very nicely put. When he released the CD, the album, I think it was New Year time ish, wasn't it? You posted something and you said we've watched these, or I've heard these tunes grow over 18 months, 2 years, and me to a lesser extent, I've seen the germs of some of these ideas grow over a period of time, and to get to this stage. I know that you've been listening longer than I have, but it's like seeing these tunes sort of finally hit the world, and they're out there now.
Yeah,
it's brilliant.
Yeah, and I remember talking to him and saying that you just need to release this album and put it out there, because you're one of those people where your first album is going to be a greatest hits, because we all know, like you say, the Modulate or Story House gigs, we all know these tunes. We all of us just want to have them in one place where if we want a fix, we can just go, there we go, stick that on in the car. That is an hour of happiness. But it also shows, I mean, I think it shows why things like Modulate, what you do with Only Human, Modular World, all these things are important, because for the people who come on these shows, it is what helps you develop your tunes and your craft. You prepare, you've got an audience, whether it be virtual or in person, and it helps you get better, doesn't it? And and so for Matt, he's written some of these tunes for your nights and for my nights, and then like you say, they're out there now, they've got a life of their own. And but as for the tune itself, just all your classic Soul Swinging Robot ingredients, great vocal samples. The man uses a 303 or TB3, whichever one he's got, like no one else I know. Beautiful pads. It's just epic. Uplifting. All the good things are on that track. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing that one with us, Matt.
Tune.
Indeed. Right, so next we've got somebody who's making his debut on the show tonight. So Leon Trimble. So he's another UK-based artist. We'll put some of his links in the description, as we'll do for everyone else as usual. I've forgotten to mention that, but we do put it in the description. He did a set, was it last month or a couple of months ago, for Modular World and John O's show? And let's have a listen to this patch he's done for us tonight. This is Leon Trimble. so that's Leon Trimble. Just fantastic patch. Pretty obsessed with this patch. As I was listening to it, fortunately, he was on Instagram chat at the same time, and I must have asked him about 50 questions about what he was doing on the patch. I think you've summed it up the best. How did you describe those two melodic lines at the start?
It sounds well, there's two melodic lines, and they don't seem to want to have anything to do with each other. So they're a bit like two snakes having a fight, I thought. It was sort of like, weren't quite sure whether to attack, weren't quite sure whether to meet. At some point, I was waiting for it to gel, and it never quite does, but it works at the same time.
Yeah.
Quite a confusing, which I enjoy, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely, I'm with you.
Sort of listen overall, because it's two very. In fact, the first melodic line, it reminded me of a plucked guitar. I mean, it quite clearly isn't, but it sounded like something that you not pluck as in flipping mutable instruments, platty type. It sounded like a distorted string instrument. Yeah, one of them.
I think he was using plats in it, so maybe it was one of those algorithms. But I get what you mean about the two melodies, and then but when the drums come in, it somehow seems to kind of lock it in a bit, doesn't it? Like the start's quite disorientating, but it
doesn't quite, and that's what I really liked about that.
Yeah,
because then you've got this sort of quite rigid grid happening underneath, but these two melodies are still fighting, and they're still not. It's almost like they're repelling each other in a way, like magnetic snakes, maybe. I don't know.
It's very clever, and it's hugely effective, and I love I don't know if you noticed that, like he's the phone that had the kind of drum patterns on it. So that's he's used patterning app on his actually it's his iPhone, but which is a great app for either the iPad or the iPhone. It's probably the best.
I'm gonna have to confess, I've listened to a lot of these tunes in the car and not really got honed in on the visual element. I've listened to the music a number of times, but not really got the phone on the dashboard. So.
Yeah, I do the same a lot of the time, but no, with this one, because I was watching it. So yeah, he's got patterning running, which is really cool drum app, but he's sending the MIDI from that. I think he's got a Teensy. We're entering Charles Gershom, Rob Spall, boffin land now in Arduino programming and building your own little devices to kind of hook up with your synths in the way that you want. And this is Leon's world. He does it. I think he does. He also does live programming of synths. Right. So I've forgotten the name of it now.
What's it like, live coding?
Live coding, but live coding synths. So you instead of playing with your hands and keys, you're live coding the plane. He does all kinds of visual. He does some proper mad stuff. Like but yeah, I just love
about manage that, I think. Or...
I think when I was chatting with him, he does some stuff for some festivals as well, where I think he does a lot of the visuals and that kind of stuff as well. So as well as being a musician, he's one of those that's into the kind of programming aspects of it as well. But the wonky groove, the drums, and then the ending is just flipping it. It's just ace the way it just kind of that grungy. It just goes and goes and goes, and it just gets dirtier and dirtier and dirtier, and then just ends in a blaze of glory. Brilliant. Absolutely.
I mean, I don't want to make assumptions about synth heads, but I mean, for me, repetition is up there. It's sort of like top 3 reasons for loving this sort of music, and the repetition that I get from this is absolutely, it's relentless, and you can like it bury you and wash over you. So ace tune, brilliant tune,
joyous stuff. And another one like yourself really, who he's got a hell of a lot from a small setup, and huge amount of respect from people who do that. I think his drums are just 2 HP drums. He's got the 2 HP kick. He's got the 2 HP kick, snare, and hats, and they're all amazing. I've never used the kick, but certainly the snare and hats are cool little modules. So, very effective use of space and clever ways of doing your programming. So, thank you, Leon. And I'll find out from you when it is. But he was telling me he's trying to start a modular synth night in Birmingham.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's started yet. I'll get we'll put the details in the links if it has. But yeah, I think Thursday nights, which not ideal if you're working on a Friday and live in North Wales, but some people don't always have to work Fridays, do this? So that might be more of an option. But
I know the EMOM fellas have a regular night in Birmingham at a pub called The Ruin in Digbeth.
All right, okay. Yeah, I don't think it's the same place, but
which I actually drove past I went to see Duran Duran in Digbeth.
Ace, cool.
Yeah, it was. And I drove past The Ruin when I was parking up in Digbeth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leon will be in the chat, so share details of the night and where it is, and I think he knows some interesting, fairly big name folk in the modular scene, so there should be some good stuff on there. Right. Next up, we have our man Dave Julian. With another Modulate exclusive. So one of my favorite things about doing Modulate TV is once every couple of months, Dave will produce a new slab of just
Daveness,
synth massiveness for us.
Yeah.
And he went funk for a while, which was brilliant.
That was awesome.
That was awesome. But this is back to, anyway, we'll talk about it after. This is Dave Julian. It's called Day Feed, and it is huge. Enjoy. that's Dave Julian with They Feed, and that is just a monster of a tune, Andy, as only Dave can.
Did you know that we were there for the birth of this tune, pretty much?
Okay, I didn't realise that, but yeah, do illuminate.
You know, when we were round his ass.
Yes.
You know, the tune he was toying with.
Yes.
That turned into this. So we were there at the
when he was showing that riff that he's working
at the very beginning. Yeah, it's that. It turned into that, and so we were privy to a very, very early primitive version of this.
Yeah, brilliant.
And I think you pulsared with him.
I think we did pulsar. Steady on.
Oh, we're not going there, are we?
We're not going. No, it's not that. It's not that show. Yeah, so there's a few different bits from Dave in this as well. I'm not great at synth spotting. It's sequential, isn't it? The Prophet at the front where he does the drone sound. Is it a Prophet? I don't know. Whatever it is.
I don't know anything about synthesizers. I don't even know why I'm here.
but that drone noise that goes, although you can see him play it, and I think he must be pressing something that holds it. But
is it the one that at the start?
Yes, and he just goes all the way through, but he just keeps.
Dave's going to kill me. But I can tell he's been listening to Chemical Brothers, because it's that,
yes.
Hey boy,
yes,
hey girl, and it's that kind of. If it's not the same sound, it's that anticipation that something's coming. It's sort of it's like a siren of intent, something like an air raid or something.
It's just underpinning the whole track. And then towards the end, where you can see him playing with the mod wheel, and he can he's just kind of ratchets in the tension in the track. I mean, all the usual things from Dave, the acid line, the drum programming. It just, I don't know anyone who programs drums like Dave does.
It's something I think that goes a little bit unsung in his repertoire. I mean, we know he can do drama, and we know that he can do sort of impending, something's going to jump at you around the corner, and tension. But you're right, his drum programming is absolutely immaculate. It's absolutely wonderful. I mean, to be fair, he has got some pretty decent drum machines as well to help him along the way. But the way that he does it, the space he manages. This is what he does. He creates space. Like if it's me, it's like like this. But with Dave, he'll take a lot of that out. He might start off with some.
Well, no.
And he'll take it out, and it's sort of, but still just as effective.
I mean, I hide bad programming with reverb. I mean, it's just like if you got it slightly off, just drench it in reverb, and then it just blurs the edges. Dave's it's just so, like say space. You've nailed it in that description. It's kind of minimal yet full at the same time, and I don't know how he does that. And I'm very. I can only hope that one day I can program drums something to that level, because it's something I try and do a lot. Yeah. And then I listen to it and just think, no, that just sounds a bit shit. And whereas when Dave programs his drums, he's got brilliant drum machines. I mean, that Joe Mox is just a beast of a drum machine. But the programming of it and the repetition and the slight variation he gets in it, it's classic, it's old school, but it still just sounds so.
What else he does really well, he can operate in lower BPMs as well. Because if I want mine to sound a bit more groovy, I might crank it up a little bit just to make it sound a bit more urgent.
Yeah.
Dave doesn't do that. He can sort of do 100 BPM, 110 BPM, and it still sounds, rolling and groovy.
He dances Dave's music, and it's just an absolute banger of a tune. And it is. I've said to him for a while, and we've not got round to doing it, but at some point we're going to do I'm going to say it now on the show, but we need to do a Dave special, because I think he's probably done. He's been getting close to 10 tunes for Modulate TV now, all the way back from his first one with Ryan, where Ryan was doing the kind of rapping and that kind of thing.
Yeah, that was great. That was.
Neon Funk Child, West Coast Haze, all these tunes that he's done for Modulate TV in this kind of weird period that we've all had. But for Dave, the kind of creativity that's come of it, it's just, yeah. Well,
there's an album there. Do you know what I thought you were going to say?
What?
I thought you were going to say that you and Dave were going to collaborate and that you were going to we were going to actually see the Dave Etchasketch Pulsar 23.
We have talked about it.
Please do it. Please do it.
It needs to happen. It does need to happen. We will.
You are doing a disservice to music if it doesn't happen.
I'll go move into Dave's for a bit, and we'll just hide in the man cave and come up.
Oh, he's got a spare room. You're all right.
It will be fine.
He'll look after you.
You can pop around and bring us food and beer and keep us going.
And see if you notice me disappearing with your pulsar in my rucksack. See how long it'll take you to notice.
You'll be able to run fast carrying it.
No.
But yeah, thank you, Dave, and thank you for just thank you again. Another person like yourself, like Matt, who's just being part of the show and just keeps bringing awesome creativity to us. So love it. So last one of the night, yeah, and we had to finish with this one because I'm not sure you could follow it with anything. This is Richie 303. Right. Yeah, that's Richie 303. Have you all stopped dancing or looking for the nearest warehouse where I mean, if ever there was a tune or a jam that just needed a big, huge warehouse with the most massive sound system possible, it's that. That's just huge, Richie. It's just a proper slab of just hard, meaty techno with all the things that are great about techno music in that patch for me. Just brilliant.
I listened to it on my way into work, and I'm pretty certain that as I drove along the A41, there was loads of birds flying out of trees and people looking out of their windows as I drove past their cottages. What's
100 miles an hour on a 60. It's just he did something earlier in the year for us, which was amazing. And again, we had to end the show with it because you can't follow this, but he's clearly been working on his game and jamming lots. In fact, for this, he sent me four jams and said I can't decide which one. And I listened to all four, and it's like, well, how do you expect me to decide on these ones? And then, thankfully, he came back and said, "No, I've decided it's this one." Yeah. I was like, "Well, thank God for that," because I wasn't going to be able to choose. But they were all just amazing. I'm thinking there's like 40 minutes of music there that you've just jammed out live on your system. Take that to like Nexus and
I was going to say that
techno night and that kind of thing. The place would be going nuts for it, and it's all just.
I bet if he sent that over to Jim or Andrew, then they'd have that. They'd play that, and it would be just amazing. Yeah, it would just be. I mean, you've been to Nexus a number of times, haven't you? And
absolutely,
it would go down an absolute storm.
An absolute storm on that. And I don't know if you do play live, Richie, but if you don't, get yourself out there, mate, and just you may be playing at 7 o'clock in a bar while people are still finishing the fish and chips. they're just going to have to live with it, right? And I know you've experienced this at the Chester Food Market, where you've kind of taken them through a kind of house techno set whilst they're eating the pizza. But get out and play live, Richie, if you're not already, because people, you need to share this.
You need to be shameless. I've done a children's fate.
I'm not sure I'd recommend Richie does a children's face. He might scare the parents, but
no. The thing is about that one. I mean, the thing is, I was travelling when I was listening to it, but I think if I'd been stationary, I still would have felt like I was moving. Listening to that, it's just got this kind of velocity, hasn't it? It just takes you.
Yeah, it's just full on. It's full on, and all the kind of I love them. I don't really understand them in terms of how to produce them, but they're like all the little percussive tricks with the snares and the reverbs and the little hi-hat fills and that kind of thing. It's got, like I say, it's got that relentless energy and momentum, but there's always slight changes, and there's always kind of subtle changes to it. And I think it's really interesting watching tonight. And we started with Probbie, who used the modular synth in one way for this kind of beautifully crafted melodies, and then you finish with Richie, who's just using a similar size setup really for just the most filthy slab of slamming techno, and it's just ace, isn't it? It's just brilliant that you can.
Well, at one end you've got a beautiful massage, and the other end you're getting slapped around the face, punched in the guts, So, and from small modular setups, so it's testament to the versatility of the form, isn't it?
Absolutely, and the talent that's out there.
Of course.
Just brilliant. Loved it. So that's it. That's our show for tonight. There's probably loads of other stuff I should have talked about.
We didn't talk about football, fortunately.
No. Well, that'll be yesterday, won't it? By the time this goes out live, but we'll see.
What I meant.
we'll stick with the banter in the chat as to how that's gone. There's probably a few things I'm looking at that I should have talked about. We've got another gig in Sheldon's coming up on the 14th of November. We've got the Nest, as you mentioned at the start, on the 6th of November in Chester.
Got the Carlton as well, 26th.
You've got that at the end of the month, haven't you? So gigs again. This is brilliant, isn't it? Getting out live and and actually being able to see each other and share music together is just amazing. So there's the and the other thing to mention we're trying to set up is hopefully looking at doing a Modulate record label. I don't know if I'll ever find the time to do it, but having spoken to a few people, as most of you know, Modulate's not for profit. We don't charge anything. People are getting paid for playing. It's all done for love and the kind of love of doing it.
But you're not paying me?
No, certainly not, mate. But we would like to give it a little back. And so what we thought is maybe putting the music from the shows out on Bandcamp, cover the running costs, and then any funds that do come in, like we've done with the Only Human compilations, we'll save it up, give it to a charity that means something to the people who've contributed the music. So if me and Matt ever get the time, which given we're all going out and playing live again might be a challenge, we'll get that up and running. But it's something we'd love to do, because I think, as you've heard tonight, the quality of the music just continues to be absolutely top notch.
Still there, isn't it? Tip top.
Yeah, and it's just consistent now, isn't it? It's you've done this with your Only Human shows and been involved as well. It's astounding, really, isn't it? Over the past couple of years,
crikey,
the level that we're hearing from people.
Well, earlier you said that you do still buy the odd bits of vinyl, same as I do, and you said that you listen to a lot of music that has been sort of released on Bandcamp, but you can even bring it even closer in, can't you? Because I listen to, I can't give a percent or a number, but so much music that from people that I actually know.
Yeah, I know.
And that's sort of within a 50-mile radius of where I live.
Yeah.
It's that good.
I know.
Or I've got terrible music taste. One of them.
No, it is that good, and we've heard that tonight. Probbie, yourself, Matt, Leon, Dave, Richie, all people that I've got a connection with. I've not met some of them in person, but chatted online and that kind of thing. And yeah, their music's ace. So thanks, folks. Thanks for sharing everything. This is the bit where I don't know the date of the next show, which is always kind of super professional of me. But I'm going to guess that it's the 21st of November. But who knows? It might be. It might not be. I'm pretty sure it's the 21st of November. But anyway, we'll have a great lineup for that, and I'm hoping. Well, yeah, the lineup's not fully confirmed, but there's one particular person that if it is confirmed that they're doing something would be pretty amazing, given my personal modular journey and people who influenced me at the start of that. So we'll see if that one comes off. But yeah, thanks, and thanks, Andy. Thanks. It's been good to do this again. It's been a while since we talked rubbish together and made people listen to it.
I've been avoiding people in boxes for such a long time, and it's here I am back zooming again and talking glorious nonsense with me again. Thanks to everyone for and thanks for inviting me. Thanks.
It's a pleasure, mate. We've missed you, Matt. Hope your cold gets better. But
Robert Redford.
Robert. We can still see his picture up in the top corner.
He looks like Robert Redford.
Maybe he'll add that to the edit at the end, so people actually know what we're talking about. If not, and
no, because there's swearing in it.
You just have to visualise. But yeah. Anyway, cheers, mate. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you all soon. Bye.
Bye.